welcome back to my channel. Thanks for watching. This is part 1 in a 5-part series showing my pickups from Europe, settling back into Australia and getting over this jet lag. So gonna do the first few openings and showings. First up, I'll show a figure I picked up, which is a Mego Green Arrow figure. As you can see from the sticker, it says limited to 1,000 in a European release, which I think this Green Arrow figure will fit in great with the other Green Arrow figures I have and statues. So they had a few more. They had Shazam and Batman and Flash and a few other characters, but as you can see by the boxing is not in great condition anymore. It was hard traveling with this in the suitcase, so luckily I only bought the one, or God knows what could have happened to him. Next up, I will do the eourpe package I got from Greyman. As I said in my preview video, it was awesome getting to meet Greyman and go comic book hunting in London with him. He surprised me with this towards the end of our day together. An opening of it on this video. You're gonna have to bear with me. He did a great job packaging it, so let's open it up. Alrighty. Fair amount of books in here. He left a note for me as well. So it says, "Hey mate, these are some reader comics for you, low grade stuff, but I hope they are all cool reads. I hope your travels here have been fun. Safe journey, Grey." So first up, we have Dazzler. Marvel Comics presents Dazzler number 22. I'm a big fan of Marvel DC books, so these will fit in my collection great. Oh, there's one on the back too. So we have Peter Parker Spectacular Spider-Man number 53. I'm not a big Spider-Man fan, but I do like good covers. It's a pretty cool cover there. Next up we have a Superman Black Lightning DC Comics presents. I've recently got into collecting these books. I have a few that I bought from one of the comic book shops on my own, so this is a great book to have. It'll fit in great. On the back of this we have a Green Lantern. I've been seeing a lot more covers from the Green Lantern series lately, and they've been piquing my interest. Very surprised by how good they were back then. Next up we have Brave and the Bold, Batman and Nemesis. I really don't know much and even who Nemesis is, so this will be a book that I'll give a read and maybe give a bit more info once I have read it. On the back we have a Superboy. I do have some Superboys in my collection, and it is a series that I will get to try and finish off the set eventually, once I get through some of the characters that I have a bit more interest in. Next we have the Super Friends. I've heard of these books before, but I don't think I've ever seen one for myself. We have Star Squadron, which is another book that I've heard of but don't really know much about. And the last two books we have Marvel 2-in-1, The Thing and Starhawk. I have a few of these series. It's another series that eventually I would like to get completed. And last one, we have Anthem, a graphic novel. I really don't know anything about this book, so I might give this one a read first. If Gray was passing it on, I'm sure it's an interesting story. As I said, meeting Gray was an awesome experience, and the fact that he went out of his way to take a stranger around London, especially when meeting him for the first time was on the day, it was just great of him, and it just shows how great the community is with each other, and it was an awesome experience. Hopefully I can repay it if Gray ever comes down to Oz. I'll have to fight with Simple Simon in line to take him down to the shops, but it would be an honor. I'm going to open one of the packages that I packaged for myself from my Europe travels. I may fast forward through the unpackaging part of this, but let's get through it. To see that my packing skills survived the test, I did tabs, so these are coming off easily, which is good. So I had 3 countries, and so 1 comic shop in Malta, 3 in London, and no comic shops in Scotland, but there was 2 main comic dealers in the con that I was at, and a few other random ones here and there. So we'll go through these books and I'll say which place I picked them up from. So we'll start off with, first one is XMen the movie comic. This was picked up along with one other book from one of the smaller sellers at the convention. Anything X-Men that I see, I like to get my hands on. So I grabbed this one. Next up, we have Thor 341. This book is for my Marvel DC crossover books. It has a reference to a Clark Kent cover character in the book. Next up, we have Batman Family Giant #1 with an iconic cover of the Bat Family, Robin, Batman, Batgirl. This is the origin story of Batgirl, so that's why I picked up this one. The next book is just the gap filler that I needed in my new Teen Titans run. I was lucky enough to find both books in London. So this book was from the first shop we stopped at in London. I will insert the name because it's escaping me at the moment. The other books in these thing are just my blanks, which I have shown before, so nothing special. Next book is from Gosh Comics. Like I said, I collect anything Marvel DC crossover, so this is another one to add to the collection. You got Darkseid and Galactus, Darkseid versus Galactus, The Hunger. This next book was the other book I picked up with the first book from the small seller at the Scotland Comic Con, and this is Battle Scars #1, which is the first appearance of Agent Coulson in the comic. Then from one of the other sellers, one of the bigger sellers at Scotland Comic Con, I was able to pick up Just Imagine Stan Lee's Catwoman, which leaves me with one book left to finish that set, because I was able to find the Batman as well, which is one of the harder ones to find in this series. From the same seller, I was also able to get Daredevil, The Man Without Fear #11. This is, if I'm right, the first battle between Echo and Daredevil. With all the hype about the Echo series coming out, it was just a minor key book picked up. Now, this book was also from the same seller. It's Sensational She-Hulk #1. I have the Savage She-Hulk #1 series nearly complete, so gonna start on this series next. So I figured I'd pick up the #1 while I could. Then we have World War Hulk, The Incredible Hulk. This book is a minor key. I can't remember off the top of my head why it was, but I picked that up. This was from a shop called Notting Hill Comic Exchange, which is a book and comic exchange place. So you can put your books in there on consignment, or you can sell them your books and they sell them. It's a tiny shop there, but they have a good 30-40 short boxes worth of books scattered around the shop. And the last book I have is a Star Wars ObiWan book, which I got because I was meeting Ewan McGregor at Scotland Comic Con and wasn't sure what photos he would have there. So if he didn't have anything interesting that I'd liked, I was going to get him to sign this, but I ended up getting photos signed. So that is the end of part 1 of this 4 to 5 part series showing my pickups from Europe. Let me know if there was anything you liked in what I picked up. Click the like, subscribe, and leave a comment. Thanks very much.